I missed the song.
Yeah, we missed the song. Can they hear us more? Oh, this is very anticlimactic.
Mark trying to like soup us up.
We gotta be our own hype man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
All right, yo. So that was really like the way we entered into the show. So for everybody that wants to know why the intro is not there, we keep getting copyrighted, even though I bought the beat. So F that, yo. Because what it does is it puts advertisements on the video. And like I can't take the advertisements off, so it's like I want to be advertisement free, so people could just watch it without being like, oh, I gotta skip 2 unskippable ads. Like F you, yo. All right. Anyway, shout out to Shane D. Dachi and Arncard Justice. Yes, no more opening song for the time being. We're changing it, but it's gonna be the same way, but it's just gonna sound different a little bit. So I told you. That was dope. Lawrence was like, yeah, I don't know about this.
I don't know. I was questioning the song. I was questioning the theme.
song is fire, man.
Yeah, the song is... All right, enough with the song. This is That One Piece Talk. My name is Larry.
Lawrence.
Seb.
Lionel.
And this is That One Piece Talk where we talk One Piece. Lionel's like, damn, yo. Haven't been here in like 7 episodes. I just take off whenever I want.
It's just been a minute.
Yeah.
I was doing things.
How you been, bro? Tell everybody how you been since they barely know you.
I've been surviving out these streets. No.
In these streets?
As a pirate, too.
As a pirate?
Oh, that's why you
Abandoning
left?
kids. No.
Abandoning kids?
No, stop.
Pirate life.
Mr. Carmel?
Wait.
What?
What?
The Miss, Lady Cartmel, she was selling kids, like orphans.
Oh, Mother Caramel.
Mother Caramel.
Oh.
Father Carmel.
Father Carmel and Mother Caramel. You know that? No? Okay.
All right, anyway. You good?
I'm right.
Oh, man. Anyway, yo, I feel so weird without the intro. Like, it really does make me feel
I thought we
weird.
moved on. I
No,
forgot about it.
I haven't moved on yet.
I
tried.
30 seconds ago.
I tried to move on, and I just
legit
haven't been
forgot
able to.
about it already. Like I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know this, but Lawrence is the closest thing to like what a real life One Piece character would be. He sleeps at odd times. He has a weird laugh.
Do I?
He wears sunglasses 24/7.
It changes.
Why are you coming at him so hard?
My laugh changes, so it's like I don't know.
His quirk is that he has a twin.
Wow. Not even ability. You said my hero. Not even Devil Fruit.
Yo, it's crazy because they look alike all the time. All right, anyway.
We can change that we're twins.
All right. So let's get started. All right, so we have no manga chapter this week, which is kind of cool because it always means we could talk about random stuff, right? So I figured let's do that. So before we go and start this, right? Did you guys have any thoughts or questions that you wanted to bring up? Because I have like 6, 7 questions.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I know, but do you have any questions or anything that you've been thinking about? Because then we could just add it. All right, that's a no. Yeah. So I'll start it off hot. All right.
Hot fire.
Hot fire.
Hot fire.
In the latest SBS, right? A fan drew a picture of people with swords and labeled it Swordsman. In the fan art is Roger, Rayleigh, Odin, Shiryu, Hachi, Kaku, Cavendish, Law, Vista, Shanks, and Mihawk, right? Oda then commented, the full lineup of swordsmen, when they cut, it hurts. So I bring it to your attention because everybody's like, yo, Oda has confirmed that Shanks is a swordsman, officially. And then it brings into question, Mihawk is the strongest swordsman, so that means he's stronger than Shanks. So I wanted to see, what are your rebuttals, and what do you think about what I just told you? And we're going to start off with Lionel, because he hasn't been here. So what do you think, Clive?
On the spot.
I mean, I haven't seen the SBS. I'm trying to. Does it Oda really confirm that Shanks was a swordsman?
That was his comment under the fan art. Like, he didn't draw the picture. Okay. All he said was the full lineup of swordsmen, when they cut, it hurts.
Because I have a question, because me and Smash had this conversation, and we thought like Roger wasn't. He's more of a pirate than a swordsman, just like others, like Shanks and Rayleigh. Because like we find out even Rayleigh carried like 3 swords at one time in his life, like 3 different swords. So I was thinking, like, I even off that, I have to get more information, like Oda. Like, I still don't think, to me personally, I could be wrong, that I classify Shanks as a swordsman yet. I don't know. Like, so what I know and from my knowledge, even off the picture, because like Oda was just commenting. Oda didn't actually draw it and say they were swordsmen. So that I'm like, because I can't because Shanks is a Yonko, and granted, just because like you have the title of a Yonko and you have the title of Shichibukai doesn't mean you're not like up there, like because again titles are like for a lore of the One Piece world. So I'm thinking like where we know Mihawk and Shanks are on the same level, or if Mihawk's stronger than Shanks, that's like questionable and doubtful. But I do say if Mihawk is not stronger than Shanks, they would say they're on the same level at least. I can't say that Mihawk's stronger than Shanks. I can't.
Okay. We'll go to Sebastian. We'll just go around. What do you think about this revelation that I've told you about? Because I know that it's been misinterpreted a couple times, but this is what it actually was.
Yeah, so it's good to get confirmation that Shanks is a swordsman. I know people have used the word hockey man before, which is always weird to me. I've never understood that term. But it's cool to know he's a swordsman. To me, that does not prove that Mihawk is stronger than him. It just means he's stronger than him with the sword. Like, if they fought in a sword fight, Mihawk would win. And I think everybody understood that from the jump. You know what I mean? Like, if they fought with swords, Mihawk would win.
Yeah.
But I still can't see Shanks, like, losing, like, in a fight where he's like, oh, man, well, I only use the sword. Like, I think Shanks will shoot you. I think Shanks would punch you. I think Shanks would kick you. The same way Rayleigh was out here kicking Kizaru as well. Like, I don't think this is proof that Mihawk is stronger than Shanks or any of the other swordsmen. I think Roger was on there too.
Yeah.
Like, y'all trying to tell me Mihawk's stronger than Roger? Like, I'm sorry, he's not. I don't care what kind of Zoro fan fiction y'all trying to go with, Mihawk's not stronger than Roger. So, like, Roger being on there, I was trying to remember the other names, but to me, it's just proof because these people use swords, which we all knew already. But it's their only means of fighting, which is what it is for Mihawk. Like, Zoro's not punching people. Mihawk's not punching people. They are specifically and only using swords. That's why they're all swordsmen. Those people are swordsmen to the T, where this is it. There's nothing beyond that. While Shanks, Roger, and other people like that were also on the list, I can see them using whatever means to beat you. As long as, like, I have to use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is confirmation that what I believe is wrong. I just can't see Shanks limiting himself in that way. He's already down an arm. Like, he's not limiting himself, bro. I'm sorry.
That's true, too.
I'm not. I wouldn't if I was him.
What about you, Law? What do you think about this?
One, I want to bring up, similar to what Sebastian said about the whole Roger thing. Like, that's a good point, because I was going to bring that up, too. But people are forgetting Shanks and Mihawk fought. Did they forget that? Like, they fought to a draw already. So, yes, Mihawk holds the title of world's greatest swordsman. But even if that is true, like, all right, I mean, it is true he has the title. But either way, they fought to a draw. So at the very least, they're the same strength, right? Because you could, like you said, Roger was on that list. But also, I believe Rayleigh's on that list too. Mm-hmm. Rayleigh's still alive, who clearly his dominant fighting style is with the sword. So does that, going by that, is Mihawk stronger than Rayleigh? Well, we could also look at it this way, right? Mihawk attained the title of world's greatest swordsman. It doesn't necessarily he beat every single person on Earth with a sword. That doesn't mean that. You can think of it like in boxing. Someone entitled the title of a world ranker or
pound for pound
champion.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean he beat every single one? No. He acquired that title. It's still to be seen with them if he fought them, if they could take that title from him. But we know that the people that have fought him in the past, right, either didn't win,
That's such
lost,
a great point.
or fought to a draw, which we had with Shanks. So I don't believe Mihawk is stronger than Shanks. At the very least, what we do know is that they did fight multiple times, but every time they did fight was to a draw.
So, because also know that Mihawk is older than Shanks, right? So he might have got that title already before he fought Shanks, but either way, Shanks was the one, I don't think who challenged too, but they just fought. And it was multiple times they fought to a draw. So, showing that at the very least, young Shanks and young Mihawk were the same strength. That's them younger, you know? Because when
With swords.
Huh?
With
swords, right? Yeah. What I say?
No, I was just saying, like, if
To be
Shanks
more
started
specific.
hooking off.
Oh, yeah. So pretty much, because also, too, when Shanks lost his arm, he was what, 28? 27? 27, right? So that means when they were clashing, they were in their 20s, young 20s, younger than 27. So that's early years of pirates. So older, now we have yet to be seen where their strength is at when they match up against each other. That's what I gotta say about that.
Yeah, those are some great points. I just want to shout out Javion. He says, I'm finally here. Christian Nazario says, we in here. Super Gamer Guy says that, Shanks also used guns in the game, like Pirate Warriors, and he used Red Lightning, which is probably just Advanced Conquerors. Thank you, everybody. 11 of you that's here. So for my opinion, too, when somebody does something and then Oda comments on it, he never really lets out information that's, specific. So, like, you can take it as in your own interpretation of what a swordsman means. And like Lionel said, like, what does a swordsman mean? And then, Seb broke it down, like, it's mainly you just using swords. Like, you're not going to be punching people. Like, if Zoro doesn't have a sword in his hand, he's not as strong. Where, like, if Shanks didn't have a sword in his hand, he's probably not going to drop an attack power that much. It's just, it utilizes his strength even more than he already has. And then with your comment too is like you prove it even further how it's like if you're a pound for pound, it's probably just in that division because you limit yourself because you don't want to go higher, if that makes sense, because that's kind of what I got from what you were saying. But I agree, man. I feel like overall, do I expect Mihawk to be stronger than Shanks? If so, if Luffy's next opponent is supposed to be Shanks, and we know that the next guy in line is who Zoro is going to fight, and that person's going to be next in line and strongest in that crew, then that means that his goal overall is, I don't know, like his goal overall is not going to be as big as Luffy's, and he's not going to have to overcome that goal as big as Luffy's going to have to overcome that his own goal. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. Like, I don't see Mihawk being stronger than Shanks even now. I just don't see it. Like, I can't see it. Like, it doesn't make sense story-wise. But Mihawk overall just being the strongest swordsman, I feel like that title is so iffy too. Like nobody's challenged him enough. Like when we went to Marineford War, like there were glimpses of him doing things and it didn't seem overwhelming. Like in his feats compared to Shanks rolling up and stopping Akainu in his tracks and saying like, yo, if you want to do this, let's go again. It's like I didn't see anything that Mihawk could honestly be equal to in that feat. It's like, yo, I sent this slash and then Joe's threw the slash up. And that slash was meant for Whitebeard. You know what I'm saying? He clashed with Vista. And Vista, like, it didn't look like Mihawk was struggling, but it looked like Vista was in his way. And Vista's 5th commander on the Whitebeard Pirates. So I'm saying Shanks is going to walk straight through him. Granted, he's probably not taking him too seriously either.
You're talking about Vista, not Mihawk.
It's hard to power scale Marineford.
It is.
Because nobody was putting in max effort except Whitebeard for a short period of time. You know what I mean? Like, it was hard. I mean, Luffy the whole time, I guess, was putting in max effort. But, yeah, I mean, it's hard to gauge with Swordsman. I was going to make a Hajime no Ippo reference, calling Mihawk like Ricardo Martinez and Shanks like Takamura as far as pound for pound goes. It's like, yo, I'm in this weight class, like I'm the best. There's nobody who can touch me. But there's people who do things beyond what I do in other weight classes. The way you know what I'm saying?
It's the same thing with like the King versus Zoro fight. You know what I'm saying? Like Zoro's upset with King because he's not using his sword. Yeah. But King is like, yo, I'm so great at what I do is that I don't need to rely on the sword. Like I'm just good enough already. Like I can do these things without it. And it's like the sword just utilizes the strength you already have, but in a better way. But it's like, I don't know. Like, I expect Mihawk to cut Kaido. Like, I do. Like, you got to expect that at this point.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes sense from the last chapter. So I'm not saying that he can't compete with a Yonko. I'm just saying that Shanks is going to be stronger. That's it.
Yo, quick question.
What?
Was the drawing good?
It was.
Oh man, yeah.
It
you,
looked.
You got that?
I don't. You can search it up.
I'm gonna look it up.
It looked like Oda drew it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh wow.
Fan art, look at Oda. Nice.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
yeah.
One thing I want to comment on, though, like it's a good point you brought out. Like for example, like adding to what Sebastian was saying, a prime example we see with Swordsman and King, right? King is using as I'm a warrior, I'm a fighter, right? I wield the sword, but that's a tool that I use to further my repertoire in fighting or use to kill you, you know? Where Swordsman is like, no, I live by the sword. So you could view it that way. Swordsmen live by the sword, while fighters use whatever means necessary in a fight. And that's what King was showing. So with that in mind, I do want to add, for example, about the whole the Mihawk thing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm losing my train of thought. I said that I had 2 points, and now I'm trying to remember the other point. And I'm like, dang, I said the first point. What was my other point?
That's funny.
All right.
Dang it, something,
All right, we'll get back
that
to
you
you.
said. There's something that you
Anything.
said.
Did you want to say something, Lionel, before we go to the next topic?
I was thinking, because I'm going by what you said, like, you know, like if Zolo without his swords, right? And I thought of like, remember when Zolo responded to King? When Zolo said pretty much like you're fighting like a vicious beast, like, you know, like because he did a move, then he went just straight to Zolo's like throat and neck, and Zolo said pretty much acknowledging that, but he's saying that pretty much at the end of the fight, who knows that I might be doing something similar, like if I don't have my swords, I might be ripping your throat out with my teeth or something like that, showing that Zolo's in it to win the fight regardless if he has the swords or not. So that's what I thought of, like, even though we classify Zolo as a swordsman, but it's showing that Zolo's willing to go do whatever it takes to win this fight, whether he's winning by the sword or not. And I find that kind of interesting.
So in response to that, I agree. I'm just saying the level Zoro's gonna be at when he has no swords. Like, he got his swords taken from him in this fight 2 times. And he immediately went to go get those swords because he knows he can't put King down without a sword. I'm saying Shanks at the levels that he's at and Roger at the level he's at, if their swords get removed from the equation, they still have the power to be putting dudes like King down even. You know what I mean? Like, he can swing and conquer his haki attack with his hand. He doesn't need a sword to do that. Yeah. As of now, like, Zoro would need to do that. He wouldn't be able to do that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying Mihawk can't. I'm just saying his whole persona, his whole career is yo, I'm the swordsman. This is what I do. I am the best at this thing. Yeah. I'm not gonna say he's out here boxing dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. I mean, that's me though.
Go.
I finally remember what I was gonna say. So I was gonna just so we can move on. I wanted to add the Marineford thing. Yes, like Sebastian said, we can't expect much from them because also look at the difference between Doflamingo during the war and then Doflamingo we see like fighting Luffy. Mm-hmm. There's a big difference here.
Yeah.
You know? Like, even at the time I saw in the war, yes, Doflamingo kind of showed a little more than Mihawk. That is true. Right? Because even when I first saw Doflamingo, I was thinking, if he fights Luffy, how is Luffy going to beat him? Because he's able to control people. Right? Then later on I saw it had to do with will and Luffy's strength later on. But even then, there was a big difference in strength, capabilities, was able to do, arsenal, all of that. Doflamingo was a powerhouse. Yes, he showed that he was strong in the war, but he didn't show that he was anywhere near the powerhouse that he showed.
I mean, I could make a strong case that, like, he only didn't show, like, 2 things. He didn't show the clone doppelganger that he could make, and he didn't show Birdcage.
Yeah.
Everything else was there.
No, the haki and
the awakening too. Yeah,
the haki,
but everybody was using haki and Marineford.
No, yeah, but yeah,
we knew that though. Yeah,
no, but no one expected him to be a Conqueror's user. I didn't.
Listen, one of those warlords had to be. Like,
so that's why I'm adding to like what we're gonna see with Mihawk, because we all believe that he's supposed to be the strongest Shichibukai, strongest warlord, right? So if Mihawk was showing this drastic in strength-wise, why wouldn't? Because also, one thing what adds to this is, like, for example, King's comment saying, you too recognize Zolo's dream are singing after kingly ambitions, right? And kind of Zoro showing what it takes to get that title of the world's greatest swordsman. Now you have someone who has that title and gained that title since 19 and has kept it since then, right? To me, that gives credit to Doflamingo, Mihawk's position and strength level, because Zoro's showing that Eren is like, I can't be this weak, right? Even to master these swords, right? To conquer Enma, all that, right? That to get this title of the world's greatest swordsman, I have to be beyond that. Mihawk already has that and blackened his blades from like who knows when. So I'm saying that Mihawk's already done all that and has been chilling there. So showing that to show Mihawk Shanks that a kingly ambition, that the strength level we're going to see at Mihawk later on is going to show why he is the world's greatest swordsman.
I think he's going to rival Shanks.
Yes.
He's going to rival no matter what.
Yeah.
It's just, when it comes to the swordsman moniker, and then people are saying like, he's going to be stronger than Shanks based off Shanks just being a swordsman.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been confirmed. It's just, Oda was just like, oh, that's swordsman. Overall, that could have a number of like, interpretations.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm on the Shanks side. Like, I think Shanks is going to be stronger just due to continuity of the story.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? Mihawk is definitely top tier though. Like, it's no question. Like, I don't think we should just be like, well, just because he can't beat Shanks doesn't mean like he's not top 10 in a show.
Yeah.
Like, that would be crazy. Like, you can't think that way. But yeah. Let's move to the next one. So I saw this post on the One Piece Facebook, because sometimes I go there to post our stuff. And this question got a lot of people commenting on it, and I didn't understand why. But the question was, who is the most dangerous person in One Piece besides Shirahoshi? Yeah, you could go if you want.
I was like, who's going to go first? Because I kind of feel like they said it already. Well, supposedly, who's supposed to be that? And I feel like I play this card a lot. Only because I'm going by what the show said.
Oh, my God. And we're skipping you.
Wait, no,
because I know what he's going to say.
I know he's gonna say too.
It's supposed to be Dragon.
I thought he was going to say Dragon.
I thought he was going to say M.
No.
I was about to be like, I'm tired of
No,
this.
Lawrence been
talk,
saying
bro.
this for like the longest.
So,
Okay.
hold on, but that's perspective. Dragon's dangerous to the world government.
Yeah.
Is that the question? Because if the question is most dangerous to the world government, or is the question most dangerous to the world as a whole?
Yeah, because those are two different.
It was just the most dangerous person in One Piece.
Okay.
Right now? Because circa 2 years ago, it was Doflamingo. Not even playing with you.
You think it's Doflamingo, the most dangerous person in
Yes.
One Piece?
He had national treasure knowledge. He was pulling the strings of Yonko. He had all the weapons manufacturers and run the underworld brokerage. It's just all that stuff together. Like, if Doflamingo got his way, the world, even if he just has to wait for Kaido to die out, like, the dude's goals was beyond even, I don't want to say even rocks, but it's like he was going to dominate the world and make it like a Dressrosa-like world where it's super dark. You know what I mean? I would say Doflamingo. It's probably actually Luffy because he's the main character and he's the one who brings the dawn and the storm and all that stuff.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But it really depends. Right now, I'd say Luffy. Back 2 years ago, I'd say Doflamingo.
See, I agree with the Doflamingo and that sentiment because, like, what do you mean by dangerous person?
Oh my God, I forgot. There's one other person I didn't say.
I'm gonna say because I really just because Dragon is just to the world's government, right? But honestly, go my way he's going. It's probably Blackbeard. Because the reason why I say Blackbeard because you're talking about the dangerous person in the show. Blackbeard legit doesn't care about anything except like
his goal,
structure order. No, he's willing to go against and attack anything and destroy anything for his goal. So like peace,
within
whatever.
reason, so long as he's safe.
Yeah,
Like he's not that reckless.
But like I'm sorry, to me, from what I've seen, I feel like Blackbeards are willing to destroy anything and anything for whatever because pirate paradise.
Yeah,
he kind of wants. So I feel like he's willing to attack either the world government. Be it the Marines, be it the revolutionaries, be it other pirates, kingdoms, anything to what he wants, he's willing to destroy it all just so he is okay. You know?
Yeah.
So I think he's willing to take down like everything. Like how Whitebeard was able to destroy the world. To him, he's probably willing to destroy down the entire system of everything just because he can or because it would fit whatever he wants to do. So that one, like so I feel like the reason I say the most dangerous, I feel like no one and nothing is safe with Blackbeard. That's why I think he's probably the most dangerous.
This is so crazy. So you got Doflamingo 2 years ago. You got Luffy now. You have Blackbeard. And then let's go to you, Lano. What do you think?
I was thinking because this.
I have a third answer.
That question is like it's so broad and it can, like
It's super broad.
Yeah, because that can mean, because for instance, people could think of Eam, like he's the most dangerous because like how he manipulates people's lives and centuries of history. Like we don't know how long Eam's been around, but we just know that the world government took out a whole century of history because it was going against their own ambitions and belief. So that like even the God Valley, nobody even knows about it. So they're twisting their own viewpoints in like history to fit their own needs. And people think that's dangerous because like Eam's got the world government backing them. Like he has the Marines in the world government doing his bidding. Like we saw like the posters of certain individuals. Like he might, all right, this is next on my list that I want you to take out. And they're going to go, yeah, we're going to go take out these people because Eam wants it because he has some type of higher being to himself that we listen to him because he knows better for us or whatever their view is. Like why they have for him such a high pedestal besides him sitting on the throne is like, yo, he can manipulate so much and do certain things. Like
playing God in a way.
Yeah, like Doflamingo did that in the underground world, and he saw how much an effect. But he had such an effect, but Doflamingo was still limited. While Eam's like a bigger Doflamingo.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like that's how like I like this question because like it could be Blackbeard because how Blackbeard like at least Eam has some type of monetary piece that he's kind of keeping. Well, Blackbeard is all about pure destruction. Like he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like if it's.
But see, that's where I push back on Eam because Eam's like peace cool so long as I'm at the top. Doflamingo's out here funding and supplying dudes who are trying to actively wage war on the government, saying F peace for my ideals. My other answer was Vegapunk, by the way. He's actually the most dangerous. Dude, if he out here thinking on the level they talking about.
So that was for me. I was gonna say Vegapunk when I first saw the question, but when I was doing research for questions today, because I've been doing, I wouldn't say I was researching too many questions, but I found something interesting that I thought you guys would. This is why I was gonna say Vegapunk at first, and then I said no, but it actually was because of a chapter that I saw. And it was chapter 592, page 13 out of 18, right? And it was when Frankie was on the island where Vegapunk lived, right? And the guy with the antlers, and he had like the coat, and he had like the beard, he said about Vegapunk, and this is the only thing we know about Vegapunk as of right now, and it kind of clarifies why he ended up going with the Marines, and it also clarifies why he considered the dragon devil fruit that Kaido has a failure, even though it was perfect, right? The guy says, yet as was always the way with his troubles, though the plans were perfect in his mind, he was unable to fully transfer them into reality. He did not have the technology and the funding to bring the system to completion. But the sight of him fervently sobbing over his inability to help was more than enough to warm our hearts. So he was talking about how Frankie was seeing this contraption on the island, which basically heated up the island, but he couldn't finish it because he didn't have the resources. And he used to cry about not being able to help people. So I was thinking like, it can't be like, Vegapunk. Like it changed my whole answer. It can't be Vegapunk no more. Like Vegapunk is clearly a person who just wants to do science.
That was him as a child though, right?
But I also thought of like, I honestly hope Sebastian's right with the whole Vegapunk theory. Or which one you guys said it? Like you?
What about it?
Like being Vegapunk actually being good, being
yeah,
a good person.
he's a good person.
He has
he's gonna be.
Yeah. Because I thought of like that moment when you said about Vegapunk crying actually reminded me of Caesar. Because Caesar played the role as this benevolent scientist, but he was actually wicked and terrible behind the scenes. But they thought Caesar was their savior and all this, but he was just like, nah, I'm actually not really like that. So I'm hoping that Vegapunk's not like another Caesar. Like I'm pretending to be this benevolent scientist.
I think he's too important to be that. Okay. Caesar's kind of a throwaway.
Yeah.
Like realistically, like he's a means to an end for what the arc provided. Where Vegapunk's like, I've been in this since episode 1. Like I've been affecting the world. And I'm gonna keep continuing to affect the world through my designs because they're gonna last hundreds of years. Like he's too important. He's too resourceful. So I don't know now. I would have to say what Lauren said about Blackbeard, and then I would have to say Luffy too, because ultimately they're going to be the most dangerous people in the show. Yeah. But a large piece of me wants to say Big Mom.
I knew it, yo. I knew he was gonna say Big Mom. I knew it.
I have to say Big Mom
knew it.
because she's crazy. Like, she's too unstable. She has these tea parties. She has no reason sometimes for most things that she does. She has this childlike personality.
She's probably the most
if you
selfish
don't,
person in the show.
yeah, you don't agree with her, she's gonna kill whoever she needs to kill in order to have you do what she needs you to do. And it's like the government does that, but they do it secretly with CP0 and CP9, where it's like, no, I'm Big Mom. You don't accept my invitation, I'm going to kill you. That's it.
Yeah.
Yo, Fishman Island, you don't got my sweets? You're done. Like, I've never seen the government operate that way, but I've seen Big Mom operate that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like, again, this is where it comes to like me questioning her because of, how she's been handicapped basically to be a certain way to like lower how powerful she is. Like, she'll get hunger pains and stuff like that. And like, it's like if she didn't have that, like if she was just straight business all the time, yo,
She'd be fake, bro.
yo, she eating people, like it's like she's the scariest person in the show.
But
I would say Big Mom too. I mean, not Big Mom. I would say Whitebeard because of obviously the destruction of the world.
Nah, his
but it's like
lackadaisical like attitude towards his.
yeah, it's like
because that's like Kaido though. Kaido's similar, but what's blocking him is he's an alcoholic.
you know what's blocking
And
him?
suicidal.
No, hold on. You want to know what's really blocking him? That these smile fruits ain't really nothing
Yo, they
to
ain't
worry
helping
about.
at all,
All right,
really.
like we were all like, damn,
You know what? You
he
know
got
what?
an army of
Nah,
Zoans.
nah.
Yo, you remember that? Hold on, you remember that one panel of all the
that panel
Zoans
was
like
fire.
foreshadowed, and we were like.
Yo.
And then we saw minks, and we're like, "Oh, this is what animals are like." And then all of a sudden, they're just not like they're nothing. they're retarded looking.
Yeah.
Like
all they were meant to do was to make it so that his fodder was of a higher class than normal fodder.
Yeah.
That's all it really was.
Yeah, it's true.
But like, I just want to say one thing in regards to this question. One of these dudes epithets is Joker. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I get
Also,
it.
Robin. Quick shout out to Robin.
I get it,
As most
but I don't know, man. It's a tough pick. Like even if if we were to say like dead people, it would probably be Rocks for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like the dude was
Joy
trying
Boy.
to do exactly what he needed to do.
You said
Joy Boy.
I think he's probably legit the craziest person in the show. Rocks.
Yo, Rocks is the craziest person in the show.
I believe he was.
He had to be. Dude was laughing in his silhouette. What other silhouette did we have where somebody's like laughing like that? What, Roger with the hat on?
Oh.
Yeah, like the dude looked
They're
insane.
both crazy. I don't know.
I mean,
All right, so let's go to the next one. So I do TikTok lives on our page just to get the community going, to get the people going.
it's provocative.
It's provocative. And I always got people who bug me about Marco and my hate for him. People always bug me about Usopp and my buggy hate.
Yeah, man, you deserve all that.
So I came up with a Usopp question. And I was like, let me satisfy these Usopp stands. So I'm going to start with Lawrence, and then we'll go from there. So Lawrence, in the room. If Usopp trained with Rayleigh for those 6 months that Luffy trained,
I don't like where this is going. I don't like where this is going.
where would he be rank-wise on the crew right now?
Okay, it's not a bad question. All right.
It's a pretty good question,
No,
right?
yeah, it's not bad. I was thinking.
I'm thinking, would really you give the time though? Like,
That's disrespectful. What?
I don't. That's
Probably
a good question
wouldn't, bro.
because
I was thinking.
he's like you got no conquerors and your will is weak. I can't work with much with
like
that.
there's reasons why he did it for Luffy. There's no reason for him.
He saw
to do
probably
it for-
great potential in Luffy,
He
reminded him of his
probably
captain.
don't even know Usopp like that.
So what do you
I
think,
don't
man? What do you think would happen to Usopp, and what rank would he be on the Straw Hats right now in the latest chapter?
So you said 2 years, right?
Right now.
I mean,
2 years?
he would be training for 2 years, but he would get trained by Rayleigh for 6 months, like the same way Luffy went through.
It all depends. I know it's on each individual because what Rayleigh would train him into, but also Rayleigh's style of training. What we see, would that be effective with Luffy? I don't, because like how he trained Luffy, his style of
Listen,
training.
man, he
was
a master of all hockeys. He gotta know
understand
how to
that.
train Usopp
I
to some
understand,
degree.
but like it was his style of training was effective for Luffy, right? I don't think his style of training, if that is his style, would be effective for Usopp because, Like Usopp's not gonna grow like that.
I'm not asking you that, bro.
No, because
I'm asking you if he trained Usopp, where would he rank right now, Lawrence?
No, what he's doing is fair. He's just taking too long to do it.
No, because like the whole thing is the Usopp would be the same if he didn't utilize or awaken his haki. Because that's the whole thing. If Usopp through that training awakened and utilized his haki, he would be at a higher rank. But if he hasn't, he would be roughly the same. In fact, he'll probably be even less because you see how all the stuff. No, the reason why though, because like you see what he gained on that island.
Yeah.
You see all the versatile he gained, like the different plants and all that stuff. With Ridley, if he doesn't gain all that, the only thing he's gonna gain is haki. And if he doesn't gain that, Usopp's worse. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
Love it.
Can
I love the Usopp hate. No, you can't go next. We go line on next. We go line on next. Lionel, go.
This man disrespectful.
I love it. I love it. Lionel, what would you?
I might be more disrespectful.
Oh my god.
Go, Lionel. Let me hear those facts,
I'm
bro.
trying to be real, bro. Because I was thinking like, because I asked would really give the time, and I'm thinking like the whole purpose with his training was for Luffy for his haki to blossom. One. Does Rayleigh even know that Usopp is aware of haki or can even like manipulate it? Like, for instance, Luffy showed signs of manipulating it. Usopp didn't show any signs of it until that random time in Dressrosa, and that was after the time skip. And I'm also thinking of, again, being disrespectful, would Usopp survive the training that Rayleigh was about to give him? Like, that's about, like, would he survive? Like, good. We're not putting the same level as like if Usopp's on that island, that's 500 creatures or more stronger than Luffy, and we know Luffy's a lot stronger than Usopp. So it's just like the stuff that Luffy went through is Usopp even handle that or survive that? Yeah, like
Yeah.
Because again, I already brought up again. Luffy's going Gear 4 on these beasts, and sometimes his Gear 4 would even work on some of these beasts. And again, who's Luffy going Gear 4 against? People like Doflamingo, Karatiri, and the more, like higher up. So Usopp needs to generate something on that level or more to survive. You realize that. And you're saying that, no. Like, so, I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
That island was catered to Usopp, that he learned all this stuff. Luffy's island would not be catered to Usopp, where he would grow from. He would... Yeah, but
Go ahead, Sam.
Jeez, man. You a little fake. All right, everything they said was real. Yes, Kuma specifically sent them to islands that were catered to making them better in the aspects and the fields that they were supposed to grow in. And which is one of the reasons why Usopp probably got observation haki in the way that he got it. And he was able to increase his sniping ability. But to answer the question, and no, I don't think Usopp would be able to survive on that island. But I don't think that was the question. The question is Rayleigh trains Usopp for 2 years. It didn't say on the island.
Exactly.
It didn't say, and specifically in hockey, it's he trains Usopp for 2 years.
Y'all were wildin'.
If he did that, Usopp would probably be around Vice Admiral level. I'm not even playing with you. Because he'd start using the dials. He would be... Once he realizes he has observation haki, he's going to tap into that so that he can focus on and train that. He's going to be...
I didn't think about
that. He
that.
can probably even get him to start utilizing armament. Maybe not at a high level, but at a potent enough level that he can hurt people with even a punch. You know what I mean? Like, Rayleigh's like a top-tier trainer. Like, Luffy went from where Luffy was at pre-time skip to where Luffy was at post-time skip. And that was a very, 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 very... large difference in skill. Think of it this way, which is I'm shocked nobody brought it up. Garp and Kobe. Kobe and Garp would be in a very similar scenario. Like, Usopp and Rayleigh be in a very similar scenario. I am a legend in the game, strong as hell, a master at these hockey techniques, and you suck. You are at the lowest point. Like, if regular humans are a 10, you're a 5. Usopp was stronger than Kobe was when Garp took Kobe in. You get what I mean? Like, he would be stronger than that. So, Usopp, see Kobe with some sniping ability. That's where we would get. Because y'all gotta stop with the disrespect. All right?
But Kobe's not Vice Admiral level.
I mean, Vice Admirals be sucking, bro. You think... And it hurt me to say that because those are my boys. But you don't think Kobe could be the Vice Admiral?
No.
Why not? We saw Bartolomeo walked through a vice admiral.
Again,
Like
it's
nothing.
ability. It's his barrier ability.
No, it's about portrayal.
I get
it's
you.
about portrayal.
Sebastian,
If he was worth it,
Sebastian,
that wouldn't happen to him.
Sebastian, I get you, but we have yet to see
Bartolomeo's
somebody
not
else.
doing that to Kobe.
Huh?
It's completely off topic. Bartolomeo's not doing that to Kobe.
My point is just the barrier. We haven't seen
Usopp, man.
we haven't seen
That
anybody
is
break
not
through that
true.
barrier.
It's true.
We haven't seen anybody break through that barrier.
Listen,
But that's a different argument.
Usopp, dude, he walked through that vice admiral within minutes,
Only
bro.
ability based.
Within minutes.
Bastion, you did.
Kobe not going out like
Bastion.
Yo, he is stronger ranked than Kobe. What you mean?
that. Listen,
Sebastian.
Kobe will beat that dude.
But
Smoker
it's his
used to
barrier,
not
though.
be vice. Like, what are you talking about, man? Listen, listen. He'd be around vice admiral level.
I don't know what that
no,
means.
I would say no. I would
That
say,
means he can
Yo, 'cause-
feasibly
hold on,
fight
hold on.
I give you
on a
rear
level
ammo.
that Smoker was fighting
I
at.
give you rear
when he was
ammo.
getting washed by.
I'll give you rear ammo or a Commodore.
No, he
Yo,
wouldn't.
vice
Nah.
admiral level is just so broad, bro. You can't just say
Okay.
vice admiral and
Yeah.
then that
Okay.
just
Okay,
that's
okay,
good points where they
okay,
are.
okay. He would be near see, I don't want to say pre-skip. Yo, think Smoker on Punk Hazard, but weaker. He's going to be able to utilize his sniping ability.
man.
He's going to be able to use
You're
hockey.
disrespecting Smoker.
If he's using dials,
Smoker
What's
needs.
Smoker got?
Hold on, Smoker needs all the disrespect that can be dished
no,
out.
first
I
of all,
like Smoker.
See, the difference is, I understand what you were saying, and what you said was real too. But also too, remember, Luffy had a basis. Luffy was able to understand hockey, right?
And Kobe was.
No. Yeah, but the thing is, the difference is, right, is that they had other techniques. They had Soru. They had, remember, they had the world government techniques the Marines used too. Kobe was also trained in that.
That's
Rayleigh
true.
is specifically training in hockey.
But he's not training him in just hockey. Remember, when he was shooting, he made him use his devil fruit better. When he shot cannonballs, he was like, yo, why are you just shooting them black randomly? Aim that. Like, he can, like, Rayleigh's elite. Rayleigh's
I'm
Rayleigh.
gonna tell you right now, as greedy as it is, that's kind of basic though.
I know it is. I'm just saying, Usopp can be raised up. He's basically taking Evo or Kenichi and putting.
But I don't know if with his weak will he could understand the concept of hockey.
No,
That's what I'm trying to
I give
get.
you that. Just like Usopp showed that he's at least an intelligent fighter. Which we know.
yeah.
Rayleigh is, again, Rayleigh is probably, the Milos talk about it all the time. Rayleigh is probably one of the best right-hand men of all time.
Yeah.
His intelligence, his fighting skill, which is like just phenomenal. And now Usopp, who like he may be weak, but at least Usopp is knowledgeable and he has some intelligence. Like even like how long he trained with Luffy, he thought of ways to beat Luffy. Granted, he lost miserably, but he fought ways to beat
Remember,
Luffy.
Larry thought he could win.
Yeah, that was wild.
Oh, and to answer your question as to where he would be on the crew, wherever Frankie is, right at
That's
that
funny, I
little,
thought of that too.
right there,
I was
right
like,
there,
But I still can't.
right there.
So, I'll answer. So if Usopp has 2 years with Rayleigh, 2 years to train, and he trains with Rayleigh the same amount that he trained Luffy, I think his observation will definitely be way better because he accessed it without anybody teaching him it, and he did a shot that was just unbelievable. So that would be all the time, straight up. I think he wouldn't have the necessary island techniques that he has now from the others, but I think he'd be more potent in a weird way. Armament will definitely be taught because Rayleigh's not going to be like, yo, you're just going to be shooting with observation. No, I'm going to show you armament. And I think he would be such a benefactor to the Straw Hats overall. Like, it hurts my heart to say it. But there's a couple people that are really strong on the Straw Hats that don't have hockey. And, like, Usopp is naturally gifted to an extent, fighting-wise. Like, we don't give him enough credit for what he did to Luffy, but, like, Luffy was messed up.
Yo, I watched that fight today.
And, like, I understood at that moment that if Usopp cares about something enough, he's going to strive, whether he's a coward or not. And, like, it would probably put him, like... oh, man. It'd probably put him, like, right under Jinbei, yo.
Okay.
That's basically what I said.
Nah.
He'd be behind Jinbei.
That's basically what I
So
said. Frankie level.
it'd be Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei, and then Usopp, and then everybody else. Now, if Yamato joins, well, we're not going to discuss that, but I think he'd be right after Jinbei, and I think he would be probably the most dependable Straw Hat on the crew besides like Zoro and Sanji.
And Jinbei.
I mean, yeah, if they're on the seas, then Jinbei is the most dependable. But
Jinbei's like the bodyguard.
The sniper from Blackbeard, though,
Van Auger
did a shot better than that, but okay. Remember?
Yeah, he was a whole island away.
They couldn't even see that.
He was probably using observation already, though.
Yeah,
we're talking about Rayleigh training. We're not talking about like you're just doing what you're doing.
Van Auger has some sort of like scope on his eye that seemingly helps him shoot at that level.
All right, so let's go to the next one, just because like we're running out of time.
Usopp all the
I didn't notice that we only did like 4 questions, 3 questions actually. All right, so the next question is gonna be, everybody seems to make a comeback in One Piece. You know, villains wise, except a no. So the only other person I could think of is Doflamingo. So if he hasn't been assassinated and impaled down, right, and he makes his comeback in the story, what do you think his role will be in the story if he does come back?
I just thought of the question that we talked about Luffy's Sinister Six.
Oh yeah.
I really thought of that when you asked that. I really thought of that.
Don't be too high up for that, man.
I know. I really thought of that.
He is, but I feel like he would be.
I don't think he holds a grudge towards Luffy. Personally,
I don't think so either.
Like he's out here hyped at stuff that's happening. He's interested. What his role will be? He's always had like a herald of the times kind of vibe when he's talking and speaking, talking about the new era and stuff. I think he would just be excited that like that stuff is happening now. Actually, if he was to come back, it would have to be in whatever the Celestial Dragon arc is, because he has key information that we still don't know. We don't know what the National Treasure is. We still don't know what that is. And he's the only person that's spoken on it. And he would now be in a position where like that information is free. I will actually say it. Like the reason they're trying to assassinate him is that information that he has. So if he gets away, which we all assume he probably will, shout out to my Virgo theory. But that would be what it is, that he would be the revealer of that. Whether it's his death does it or some other way. I don't know how that'll impact him, what side he's on or fighting. Like, I don't know if he's fighting with Blue. Like, I don't see that. But I didn't see that for Crocodile either, but here we are. But it would be something involving that National Treasure for Mary Jo.
All right.
That would be.
What about you, Law?
I agree with everything Sebastian said. I'm trying to think of like his mindset because how high he thinks he is. That depends on where he's gonna move, because he could do something like what Aokiji was doing, wandering. But I kind of feel like he's a person that kind of like establishes things and works underground, has his hands in everything. If he still kept that attitude, he's gonna. I don't know if he's gonna. I doubt he's gonna go back to that kingdom, But he may try to start his own kingdom somewhere else, or he may try to establish something and then, then probably work to go towards what Sebastian was saying either. But I see him always a person that establishes something, be it underground or anything at all. So that's pretty much what he would be trying to do, I believe.
All right. What about you, Lai?
I'm not sure, honestly. I honestly just think probably because, like, in establishing, like, for instance, that's a lot of work. Like, we saw what Doflamingo do for years to get where he was at. And, like, for me, honestly, I think he probably just go after the Gorosei and Aim. Like, if he has knowledge of it, like, try to take that over or something. Like, either, I don't know if he's going to be by himself, like, because he doesn't have his crew anymore, mostly, or his family. If some people survive or are still loyal to him. But I think he would probably just go after the secret that he's been keeping and probably try to take out Aim and the Gorosei.
I just thought of something. I mean, maybe not because of his history, but with Doflamingo, he's like a tentative risk taker. Like, I want to be secure so I'm not dying, but I do want to take something over, right? I could see him allying with even the revolutionaries and giving them that information about the National Treasure or whatever to get more people on that side. Because he's going to be like, yo, F the Celestial Dragons. Like, that's the goal, is getting them out of there. Whether I have to outlast Kaido or outlast Dragon or outlast Luffy, the goal is still to be on the top of that throne. But pitting people against each other and making them fight is his whole MO. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I could see, I just don't see Dragon sheltering Doflamingo for information.
I have a very dark imagination So the way I thought about it was maybe instead of them coming down to Impel Down and he was like, yo, they're coming to assassinate me, I think they take him to where he is experimented on by Dr. Vegapunk. And, you know, next time we see him, you remember Aizen in Bleach where they like put him on a chair and he couldn't move and like he was like covered in certain areas so he couldn't, you know, start attacking anybody because he's just too dangerous. I was thinking that they probably show him like armless and like legless, like, and Vegapunk has experimented on him to the point where like you kind of feel bad for Dofi, but ultimately he's probably in a
smiling.
This is super dark because he's probably still smiling because of how chaotic what he's experienced happens to be sort of a pleasure for him, but he's probably guarding the treasure that he was talking about, and like in a weird sense, like he's like the dragon before the treasure, and it's like kind of messed up the way I'm thinking about it because it makes the story really good and it gives him a purpose that like is against his will, but it also doesn't let him shine too much to where we got to worry about him again. It's more like he's like Mecha Frieza. but like he's like kind of lost his mind even further, so he doesn't have those kingly ambitions anymore. It's just like I'm psychotic, because that's really what we love about Doflamingo. It's like the Joker and the Carnage. It's like he's just full of chaos, and he's just like it's just expanded even further, just because he's like all these experiments.
So he's like force spamming his awakening in threads and stuff, and like you guarding the treasure or something.
Yeah.
That's fire, bro. Shout out to Larry.
It's like Kuma was subordinate. He was submissive, where they're like, this guy's gonna do anything and everything he wants to do as long as he guards the treasure. We don't care. And like the celestial dragons make that happen. So he's kind of like a slave, like a celestial dragon turned slave. I was like, when I thought of this, I was like, yo, what the hell's wrong with me? I was like, why would I think about something like this and find pleasure?
I like that though.
Already dark mangas.
I like that because I remember that Aizen scene. Even though I didn't read Bleach, I read that like.
And you know what's crazy? That one scene is just like, I don't know. It's like very iconic to see Aizen sitting there because he was so powerful at one point. And I hope Dofi follows that trend a little bit, but in a different sense. I think the next one's probably going to be the last question. Marv, we're not going to do that reaction video, so it's cool.
Reaction video.
Damn.
All right. So me and Sebastian created a top 20 Devil Fruit list, and you guys didn't see it. I will post it in the chat so you can check it out. But we argued quite a bit, and we didn't budge on a couple things. So basically, on our TikTok, I also went over it and did a live and showed everybody like what the top Devil Fruits would be. But we're not talking about the Devil Fruits, all right? So basically it says, within the list, I have Brooks Revive Fruit at number 9 all time, tied with Big Mom's Soul Fruit, right? I wanted to bring up a what-if scenario that doesn't involve either, but Brooks' speculated ability to revive got me thinking about Gecko Moria. Since he's the only character to revive dead people, I thought to myself, what if Gecko Moria joined Blackbeard's crew instead of dying, and Blackbeard ordered him to revive Whitebeard and Ace? Then Luffy sees a reanimated Ace during Blackbeard versus Luffy's fight. How do you think it would play out, and what do you feel about this? Now I guess I'll start with Sebastian.
I was not expecting that at all. Just like Luffy wouldn't be expecting that at all. I don't hate it. I wouldn't like it. You know what I mean? If you're dead, stay dead. But it's my biggest problem with Naruto. But anyway, if it happened, I think it would be a crazy panel. Like the shock value of the panel itself would be amazing. Because you'd be like, yo, holy crap. It would be what they did with Odin times a trillion. Because it'd be Luffy. We saw Ace's death real time. Like it wasn't a flashback. You know what I mean? Same with Whitebeard. Luffy's reaction, you know, I like the beef. Like I've always liked Luffy having more beef with his opponent. And that would spark like a trigger in Luffy that would make him hate Blackbeard so much. Like, he defiled the graves of Whitebeard and Ace. You know what I mean? Like, just to troll me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he would be so mad. It'd spark beef with him and Moria again. You know what I mean? Like, it would be so much, man. Like, and Luffy would have to fight them. And I guess they'd have some personalities in there that I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Ace's personality.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be Whitebeard's personality.
There's
it's somebody
another-
that is shadow, random, they put it in and they revive them.
There's another element there that you could even put, like, the personality of somebody he cares about. You know what I mean? Like, if he stakes a shadow of somebody that Luffy cares about and puts it in Ace or something, you could get double whammy with that. But, again, I wouldn't like it as a concept, like, if Oda really went that route. But as far as, like, the moment happening, I'd be like, oh, holy shit. Like, this is beef. I love it. I would love that.
This is beef. What about you, Lai? What do you think about it?
I actually had the same thoughts with Sebastian. Like that, like Blackbeard went this far, and like again, like he knows this is probably going to be, like, you know, like mentally messed up for Luffy, and they pretty much in Blackbeard might think that might give me an edge during the fight because it's all about wills, and now you have the will fighting somebody that you actually care about, and like again, they were brothers, and whether Blackbeard understands like, you know, how close they are or not doesn't matter. Just like Blackbeard, just like I did this to target you. So, like, honestly, like Sebastian, I don't like it at all because I don't really like that. I don't, but the effect that the shock value and the effect that could have on us and Luffy and the fans and everything, that I do, in a way, want to see and have at the same time. But overall, bringing people back from the dead, I never really cared that much about it. Like, it matters how well written and how they do it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, when Naruto did it, just like some moments I thought was cool because like we're not gonna see certain people like and like in the flashbacks, but also how they did it was just like, okay, like I'm kind of tired. I'm tired of it already. Like,
Yeah.
so, but yeah.
What about you, Law?
It would definitely show how evil Blackbeard is. Like, it would take it would like Blackbeard's already like crazy, like we talked about before. But this would take a turn or put him in a different perspective because, like I said, like he's deliberately doing this on purpose. It would kind of be like, not only crazy, like you're kind of sick, you know, because you're doing this purposely. Like, you know, we're gonna see each other in the future. You know, we're gonna fight it, bite it out, and you purposely chose to do this to get at me, to either taunt or break me down or whatever. To win away, showing again that he would do anything for what he wants, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of see Blackbeard even doing this, like a little bit.
Yeah,
I could kind
a
of.
pirate's gonna pirate, bro.
Yeah,
I say this, I can't see Moria following through with that. It would have to be like a killed Moria
That's what I was
and
gonna
one
say.
of his
Yeah.
crewmates, like using the shadow abilities.
yeah.
did
That's
it.
what I was gonna say that would most likely be happening.
Wait.
Like,
Why you don't think Moria?
no, he was
Because
doing
Moria
Blackbeard.
is that type of person.
He does
that would
have
do
beef with Luffy, but he's also like seemingly has a renewed will to like help his crewmate. Like, he went over there to fight Blackbeard for Abasalom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he kind of has been impacted by Luffy in a way that I guess he wouldn't even admit. But like, I don't see him doing that. Plus, Blackbeard's like, Moria, you weak, man. Give
Hold
me
on,
that
let
fruit.
Lawrence finish. We only got 2 minutes left.
No, I was gonna say like similar to what Sebastian was saying, but also I don't know if Moria really joins Blackbeard. Right? Blackbeard kind of showed that he already has his crew and he likes his crew already. I don't know if Moria fits in that. To me, it's more likely that Blackbeard takes his fruit and kills Moria and puts it into one of his crew members if he values it. You know?
Yeah,
I see that more happen. And then I could kind of see his crew kind of seems sick and dark already, that they would, yeah, let's do it. Like, they wouldn't have no problems with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We could also get Brook versus Moria round 2.
So when I thought about it, I guess I was still in that dark place after the Doflamingo thought. And, you know, we seen Oars take Luffy's shadow and then start to replicate the Gum Gum no Mi. Like, at a certain point, they were like, yo, he hasn't mastered it yet, but it looks like it's coming in. Like, he's starting to use these stretch abilities. So I was saying to myself, would Whitebeard still have his abilities, like his undead corpse, because it got, it was, his ability was taken by Blackbeard? And I said probably not, because when Luffy got his shadow taken, he had the Gomu Gomu no Mi already, and, it's from his current shadow. So he probably wouldn't have it, but would Ace have it? And I said probably not. But would I have liked them to have their abilities during that time? Hell yeah. Because then we get that little panel where, like, Ace is in, like, bandages or whatever, and, like, flames are coming off of it. And then, like, he's putting on his hat, And then some random shadow inside of him is like, damn, so this is what he felt like, huh? And then it's like, and he just explodes and with like the fire, and he does like Entei, and Whitebeard's just like, it's just like all that, and it just adds to that fight so much more to make it that much more exciting, where it feels like a final battle, and then Luffy has to see his feelings and deal with them, and then the Straw Hats are there this time, where they weren't there before. They were like, we're here now, and then we'll probably take on Ace for you, because now we have crew members that could take on Ace, like Jinbei and Sanji and Zoro. Luffy's probably not going to let him, but I'm pretty sure Sabo's going to be there as well. So then we got the fire fruit against each other. And I was just like, yo, all this shit sounds so cool.
Yo, Ace would have like a giant hole in his chest, like a hollow.
They would patch that up with the whole shot, like a hollow.
Espada.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess it's time, right, Marv? Yeah. So anyway, we got to go. I just want to tell everybody thank you for talking nonstop in the chat. I know you guys have been answering these questions. Don't forget to like, share, follow, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell next to the subscribe button so when we post, you already know. But other than that, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. And that's it. Jana.